Hello and welcome to Ecolink Inc.'s RVDA on-demand training video, Future-Proof Your RV Dealership with Bottles, Bots, and Bookkeeping, presented by the Ecolink team. Before we dive into the main content today, we wanted to provide a quick overview of who we are and the work we do at Ecolink and our partner Pi, Purpose and Expenses, who we're co-sponsoring the RVDA conference with. Ecolink Inc. is an industrial consumables company focused on providing clean ideas for industry. We work with businesses across a variety of industries, helping them reduce waste and operate more sustainably. We recently launched our Link Up Club, a unique managed services membership connecting your business to a community of partners and services. Pi, or Purpose and Expenses, is our partner organization that helps you transform your everyday business expenses like phone, internet, and credit card processing into purpose-powered donations. As you'll see, we're very intentional about the technologies, partners, and practices we choose to support our business, as well as the tools we will provide for you to help future-proof your operations and reduce expenses. We're proud to be working together with Pi for this conference and beyond as we work to purpose power RV dealership supply chains. Now that you know a little bit more about us, let's jump into the main topic at hand. During the course of this presentation, we will offer advice and support on a few of your dealership expenses to help future-proof your business. Today's presentation will be broken down into chapters, which you can see on your screen. To the right of each chapter is a timestamp, so you can easily navigate towards the expense categories that are most important to your business's needs. Some areas we will discuss today are economic outlook, personnel expenses, fixed expenses, variable expenses, advertising expenses, net profit, future-proofing your business, a discussion recap, and finally, extra resources. All content from today's discussion will be available in our virtual booth and to discuss with us in person at booth 206 with Purpose and Expenses at the RVDA conference. Chapter 1, Economic Outlook. News on inflation continues to evolve, with the world still consistently feeling the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. This discussion was largely driven by the economic forecast information in the June benchmark issue of RV Executive Today. As shown in the graphs, the data is compiled from pre-COVID years, the COVID-19 pandemic era, and the post-COVID-19 pandemic period. During pre-pandemic years, dealerships experienced growth with fewer expenses. However, after the pandemic and introduction of stimulus measures like PPP and ERC, a significant shift in expenses occurred. For 2023, economic indicators reflect the opportunities and challenges of navigating a post-pandemic world. The data even includes expense trends year to date, showing only an increase in expenses and a decrease in the bottom line. For this presentation, we have reformatted the data into a dot line trend viewpoint. The dot represents the 2013-2019 average. The line reflects the 2023 post-pandemic landscape, and the trend highlights the increasing expenses in 2024. The expense categories where Ecolink and Pi can directly or indirectly help reduce expenses are marked by our company's logos, which we'll review specifically in detail about the fixed and variable expense categories later in this presentation. In reviewing the compiled graphs, it becomes evident that all expenses are rising across the board while margins continue to shrink. This is a crucial moment to review these expense categories and optimize them to future-proof your business for years ahead. Navigating these uncertain times requires careful consideration of your business's priorities, with adaptability being key moving forward. Which expense categories are most important to you as you plan for the rest of 2024 and beyond? Chapter 2, Personnel Expenses. Personnel expenses make up a significant portion of most businesses' costs. In fact, for many companies, they represent 54% of operating expenses, a figure we'll call percentage of pie. We will be referencing this pie throughout the rest of our expenses discussion. With such a large investment in people, it's crucial to clearly define personnel roles and responsibilities, a term we like to call "who's feeding the dog." The circle diagram on your screen is a representation of your inside employees, usually W 2, and outside employees, those who are non W 2 or 1099, ranked by annual spend from suppliers, marketing and advertising, technology, government agencies, insurance, banking, NGOs, and extra spend in that order. When you look at your employees from this lens, you can better define where you can find personnel in a more fractional capacity. Let's explore some ideas to help alleviate personnel expenses. EOS, or the Entrepreneurial Operating System, can help a business clearly define who's doing what and set themselves on a path of better organization. This could mean determining where outsourcing agencies or suppliers can help better reduce costs and lighten up the workload of the internal W 2 team to work on what matters most. Contractors and suppliers can play a critical role in managing workload, and some of these resources can come at no cost to you. Leveraging an agency like the SBDC, the Small Business Development Center nearest to you, can provide training and assistance at little or no cost to your business if, for instance, like marketing, you may not want to allocate a large budget to. They can also help connect you with other contractors. For example, here at Ecolink, we have worked with Drew Townsmeyer at the University of Georgia SBDC for years to help provide advice and guidance for our internal team. Your internal team could be struggling with a heavy workload. Consulting the CPR framework, which stands for Communication, Planning, and Resources, you can help employees come up for air when they're feeling overwhelmed. This might involve integrating a marketing agency or some sort of fractional accounting or CFO support. Outside of the above frameworks and agencies that can help you identify and alleviate personnel expenses, there is one more area important to note. As the world advances farther with digital technologies and artificial intelligence, many businesses are digitizing their workforces, especially jobs with repetitive duties. According to an article from FPOV, Future Point of View, they note that the future workforce will be characterized by a hybrid model where humans and machines work collaboratively. Jobs will not necessarily disappear, but will evolve. Tasks requiring creativity, critical thinking, and complex problem solving will become more prominent, while repetitive and routine tasks will be automated. As you can see from the graph on your lower screen, FPOV categorizes large companies based on their transition to a digital workforce and the resulting revenue increases. As you evaluate your physical workforce expenses, consider the following resources to explore. Rocket Fuel by Gino Wickman and Mark C. Winters explores how to implement EOS in simplest terms, and Come Up for Air by Nick Sonnenberg, which discusses the CPR framework and how to help your internal team come up for air. Are you making the most of your business partners to reduce personnel expenses? Some next steps include evaluating internal and external workforces and identifying opportunities for teams at a fractional capacity, whether that be marketing, fractional CFOs, and more. Assessing your current partners and determining the need for new or additional partners. And finally, determining where a digital workforce can fit into your business's current landscape. Effective workforce management is key to sustaining growth while controlling costs. In a world increasingly reliant on technology, come up for air, outsource, and let automation rise, and let that become your guiding principle for the future. Chapter 3: Fixed Expenses. Returning to our percentage of pie graphic, we're highlighting fixed expenses, which make up about 19% of operating expenses. As we all know, these are unavoidable bills and services that every business has to pay. Things like fixed utilities, credit card processing, and your tech stack. These three categories will be the focus of this section, and we'll explore how to reduce expenses with the help of our partner Pi, who can also turn these cost-saving opportunities into recurring donations for causes you care about without increasing your costs. So let's explore some ways to alleviate fixed expenses in these main categories. Starting with utilities. You may have fixed bills, budget billing, or other arrangements with your utility providers. These costs can add up quickly, especially in large facilities or businesses with high energy usage. A utility bill audit could uncover substantial savings. Our partner Pi Purpose and Expenses can help identify cost cutting opportunities in energy bills. What's even better is that Pi can convert a portion of these savings into recurring donations for nonprofits that matter to you, all while ensuring you don't incur extra energy costs. By auditing your bills with our partner or your current energy provider or additional resources, you may discover opportunities to shift usage to off peak hours or qualify for different rates, contributing to your bottom line. Moving on to credit card processing. This can sometimes be one of your largest fixed expenses. It's essential to periodically shop around and ensure that you're getting the best rates and terms from your payment processors. Even slight reductions in fees can make a significant difference. Companies like Pi can assist you in negotiating lower credit card processing rates, like identifying a new payment processor that's right for your business or ensuring that you save money without passing on any additional costs to your customers. Are any of the programs on your screen a part of your tech stack? Many businesses pay for a suite of software programs, from accounting tools to productivity platforms. But are you getting the most out of these systems? Optimizing your tech stack is key. Pi integrates seamlessly with most major business apps, allowing you to streamline your systems, optimize your licenses, and reduce unnecessary software expenses. Make sure you only pay for the tools you need and that they're being used effectively. Here are a few helpful resources to explore when learning more about managing and reducing fixed expenses. FBLA, or the Future Business Leaders of America, and MBA Research are excellent starting points for practical tips and tricks to manage and reduce unavoidable expenses. The book Harnessing Value in the Supply Chain provides deeper insights into optimizing supply chains and finding efficiencies that can indirectly reduce fixed expenses. Looking to lessen your fixed expenses? Here's a few steps to get you started. Start off with an audit. Determine who your business would like to conduct an audit for your utilities, credit card processing, and tech stack. This can help identify from the get go areas where immediate savings can be made in your expenses. Next, leverage readily available expert help. Utilizing resources like our partner Pi, who conduct free consultations in optimizing credit card processing rates, energy consumption, and tech stack costs. And continue to stay proactive. Fixed expenses never truly stay entirely fixed. Keeping up and reviewing these specific areas periodically, along with other categories your business can define specific to your needs, can ensure that you're always getting the best rates and value from your service providers. The bottom line is, don't just accept your fixed costs as a necessary evil. Take the time to analyze them and find ways to drive down those expenses. Even small optimizations have a big impact on your bottom line, freeing up resources to invest in other areas of your business. Chapter 4: Variable Expenses. Unlike fixed expenses, variable expenses can quickly change or add up when they aren't closely monitored. Variable expenses can account for up to 12% of operating expenses in the percentage of pie. While smaller than both personnel and fixed expenses, variable expenses still carry a significant weight. Luckily, as a part of this discussion, here at Ecolink, we specialize in helping manage these variable costs, ensuring your operations remain future proofed. Variable expenses typically cover items like consumable solutions and supplies, things that fluctuate based on seasonal demand or operational needs. In this chapter, we'll explore three key areas to help reduce variable expenses: hidden costs, managed services, and freight rates. Let's start off by examining the iceberg of hidden costs. Understanding the sources of these extra costs is key to unlocking long term savings on variable expenses. As you can see, the iceberg in the image represents the visible cost, which is the product itself, whether that's your vehicle maintenance repair solutions, exterior cleaning solutions, or other kinds of solutions. But variable expenses involve more than just the visible cost of a product. Hidden costs like materials, labor, waste, and inventory add up quickly beneath the surface. Looking at managed service providers can help reduce some of the hidden costs of your variable expenses. Partnering with a managed service provider like us here at Ecolink can help reduce these hidden costs by offering solutions that streamline the entire life cycle of your business's products, from purchasing to delivery to inventory to use and waste reduction management. By consolidating your supply chain, improving recycling practices, and ensuring proper waste management, you can reduce costs, risks, and environmental impact. A managed service provider can make sure you have the solutions you need when you need them, under the phrasing we like to use, chemical insurance, which is a safeguard against running out of the solutions that keep your operations running. Engaging in this kind of partnership can provide peace of mind, reducing overuse of solutions and creating more efficiency. In conjunction with a managed service provider, freight rates can be reduced between the supplier and you, the buyer, helping to lower variable expenses. A supplier can help lower freight costs by providing transparency on fees and open communication between the buyer to optimize transportation processes and costs. This allows for a collaborative environment to find savings and negotiate rates, ultimately reducing variable freight expenses for both the supplier and the buyer. Here are some great resources that provide more information on managed services. The book Chemical Leasing Goes Global was one of the first major resources introduced on chemical leasing worldwide. The United Nations released a comprehensive guide on chemical leasing, which simply put is the same as managed services. This gives a more modern insight on how it can reduce your expenses and improve efficiency. You can see this graphic reiterates part of what we discussed before regarding where a managed service partner can help create efficiency and redefine supplier and user relationships in your supply chain. Next steps to alleviate your variable expenses. Start by evaluating your current relationships with your suppliers. Are they ongoing relationships or are they one time purchases? Identifying who you're purchasing solutions from and determining where new or additional suppliers is beneficial can help create more meaningful relationships to help make sure you are using and purchasing solutions most efficiently and reducing variable expenses in the process. If you're already considering managed services and want to get a real look at what that experience would be like, stop by and see us, Ecolink, at Booth 206 to learn how we can help you with some of our managed service opportunities to help optimize your variable expenses. Let us work on auditing your top 5 SKUs and uncovering bottlenecks in your supply chain to make sure you never run out of the solutions that keep your business afloat. Looking for a specific solution and struggling to find the right product? Let's have a discussion about custom solutions with Ecolink and how we could possibly help create a blend tailored to your business's needs. Never overlook your variable expenses and costs as they can quickly add up. By working with a managed service provider, you can reduce unnecessary costs, ensure you never run out of essential supplies, and save both time and money on variable expenses in the process. Chapter 5, Advertising Expenses. The final expense category in the percentage of pie is advertising expenses, which account for about 8% of operating expenses. Though a small piece of the overall picture, advertising expenses can quickly add up if your digital infrastructure is not properly maintained. Higher advertising expenses often stem from 3 key areas: your website's technical health, Google platform management, and SEO optimization. Each one has an effect on how your ads run, who they reach, and how they take actions after finding your ad. Let's look at some ideas to help alleviate advertising expenses from the 3 key areas. In website health, having a good website health can make sure that your customers are interacting with your website properly after interacting with your ad. A lower performing website means ads may show less or not at all. Some tools we would recommend include the HubSpot Website Grader, which is a free service that gets you straight to the score of your overall website to see where improvements need to be made by simply entering your website URL and identifying issues firsthand. It can help identify where your digital team can quickly make changes or where more help is needed. GT Metrics is both a free and paid service depending upon the detail you want provided in an audit of your website's speed and other elements impacting your website's performance. Probably is a free security platform that helps identify vulnerabilities on your site by auditing your URLs. With cyber attacks becoming more frequent, it's essential to have a strong website security in place to deter phishing and maintain your website's safe browsing index status. Speaking of the Safe Browsing Index, the next bucket is Google Platform Management. Google reigns overall, so being on top of Google Platform's regulations and standards are a must. If you're not running ads through Bing or social channels, you're likely using Google Ads or Google Merchant Center to create brand awareness and sell products and services. Some things to consider. Have you submitted a sitemap through Google Search Console? Making sure your sitemap is up to date is crucial for improved indexing and error reporting. This ensures pages are easily found by Google and errors quickly identified. As a result, your website will perform optimally in search results, supporting your ads and achieving their highest performance, and using your advertising spend to its highest efficiency. Quarterly, Google representatives will reach out to you looking to go over your account and may try to advise you to implement new settings that could potentially increase your ad spend without you realizing it. Be cautious of unnecessary changes that could max out your budget and prevent your ads from being shown. This is where you risk losing money or needing to spend more money to regain ad visibility. Finally, consider evaluating your SEO or search engine optimization. Are your site's pages properly optimized for your business's audience? Meaning, do they include specific keywords or phrases related to what your audience needs? Consider investing in tools like Answer the Public or Keywords Everywhere to see what your customers are searching for to find your business. Both tools help assist your ad and website copy to be properly SEO optimized, making sure your ad dollars are being used most efficiently. Here are some resources to consider for advice and support. The American Marketing Association, AMA, or DECA, provide new articles, resources, and webinars for people of all professional levels to learn new skills involved with ad optimization and other tasks to reduce ad spend and overall marketing spend. Find your local chapter to see where in-person resources are available to help assist in optimizing your digital presence and ad spend. The Small Business Development Centers, or SBDC, which we discussed earlier in this presentation, is another great resource for articles and webinars that can help bolster your digital presence for optimal ad spend. They also offer training on how to better manage your Google advertisements and provide assistance beyond what Google representatives typically offer. Consider books like Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, which explains how to craft a roadmap for telling your business's story to improve ROI, which is your return on investment, and also Google Ads AdWords Workbook 2024 by Jason McDonald, who releases new workbooks every year to help businesses adapt to Google's changing ad landscape to better spend your advertising budget. Looking to strengthen your digital infrastructure? Here are some next steps to take. Unsure of how your website is performing? Get a second opinion and stop by the Ecolink booth, and our digital team will run a free website report for you to help you get started. We can walk you through basic errors and help you determine what's next or help connect you with a development team that can help. Also, consider how your business wants to use its advertising budget and identify gaps in your advertising setup or website technical help that may require assistance beyond your current team. Determine whether existing or additional fractional help is necessary. When you're unsure where your advertising expenses are going, things can get a little hectic. But staying on top of your website, help managing your Google platforms effectively, and optimizing for SEO can ensure that your advertising dollars aren't wasted. Chapter 6, Net Profit. Now that we reviewed all the major expense categories discussed in this training, it's time to focus on the bottom line. How can you overall identify ways to boost net profit? This can be achieved through evaluating and adjusting expense categories through the actions we identified or through internal evaluation strategies that can have an impact on all expense areas. So let's take a look at a few internal strategies to uncover opportunities for more net profit. First, when you're not sure where to start, a filter assessment may be right for your business. A filter business and leadership rating scale can help identify and track performance to help take your business to the next level. A filter assessment is a great way to identify missed opportunities and preventing future ones. Considering all percentages of pie we have identified, a filter assessment could be beneficial to increase performance and reduce expenses in all the major categories. Another great option that we, even at Ecolink, have implemented is a GV sprint or a Google Venture sprint. This means taking an idea and breaking it out over a few days to uncover a solution. This process involves identifying your business's biggest issues or expenses and using your entire team to uncover the root cause and develop multiple solutions. A GV sprint can be conducted within any time frame you require and can be tailored to fit your business's specific time constraints. Consider these resources to better your business for the bottom line. Sprint: How to Solve Big Problems and Test New Ideas in Just 5 Days by Jake Knapp is a great resource for simplifying the GV sprint and help your team create a framework to identify and solve major bottlenecks. Bellwether Ltd. is a business consulting service that offers filter assessments at a lower cost, helping you identify areas for improvement and opportunities to enhance your business before expenses escalate. They assist in areas such as supply chain, organizational management, people, and performance. Are you missing opportunities for net profit growth? Look at these next steps for internal evaluations. First, determine whether a filter assessment or another type of business evaluation is necessary or beneficial through an exploratory consultation. Then, collaborate with appropriate teams to identify areas where a sprint could be conducted to address larger company issues. While it's important to examine internal individual expenses, focusing on the bigger picture is crucial for making a meaningful impact on your overall net profit for the future of your business. Chapter 7: On Demand Recap. Now that we've covered all the different expense areas in which you can optimize your business's efforts to reduce expenses in the long run, let's recap one more time. In Chapter 1, we looked at the economic outlook. We know that margins are down and expenses are up, and it's a challenging environment. But by understanding these trends, we can identify opportunities to adapt and thrive. Chapter 2 covered personnel expenses and how personnel is typically the largest expense category for businesses. Beyond just your internal staff, you need to consider all the employees you leverage: contractors, agencies, and service providers. Optimizing this broader workforce can unlock significant savings. In Chapter 3, we examined fixed expenses, knowing that costs like your tech stack, utilities, and other bills are unavoidable, but there may be opportunities to reduce these expenses through audits, negotiations, and identifying more efficient alternatives. Remember that small wins can add up quickly. Chapter 4 covered variable expenses and how variable costs like materials, shipping, and consumables are often overlooked, but by closely analyzing these expenses, you may find ways to trim waste, negotiate better supplier deals, and identify cost saving opportunities through managed services. Chapter 5 looked at advertising expenses and how your marketing and advertising efforts are critical, but they need to be strategic and high performing. Evaluating your website's technical health, SEO, and Google platform management can surface ways to get more impact from your advertising and marketing spend. And finally, Chapter 6 looked at net profit, and that at the end of the day, it's all about the bottom line. By methodically reviewing each expense category and internal review, you can uncover ways to boost your net profit, whether that's through cost savings identification, revenue growth, or a combination of both. As you look towards the next steps to future proofing your business, you can begin by evaluating each expense category we discussed and define what matters most to your business, and then identify cost saving opportunities. Then you could explore collaborative measures with Ecolink and Purpose and Expenses to help optimize your supply chain and everyday business expenses. And finally, continue to implement sustainable and efficient business practices to enhance your business's profitability. Chapter 8: Ecolink Wrap-Up Resources. As you explore ways to cut expenses and discover how Pi and Ecolink can help future-proof your business, check out some of our parting resources for a little bit of fun. First, scan our QR code or screenshot it to access the link from your phone's photo gallery. Learn more about Ecolink and Pi and how we can help you or connect you with another service you might need. By using the code, you can also access a Goodreads list of all the books mentioned throughout this session to start transforming your business immediately. And don't forget, Check out our RVDA Ecolink Spotify playlist packed with working tunes and podcast episodes featuring Ecolink and Pi. Discover the origins of both of our companies and how we became who we are today. Our virtual booth offers additional listening materials as well as resources designed to start helping you on a path to future proofing your dealership through bottles, bots, and bookkeeping. Thank you for watching our on demand training video, and we hope to see you soon.